Hello again. We're here with one of the signature scotches, Johnnie Walker Black. This is a blended malt. Contrast with the last scotch we reviewed, which is in a cow. We're going to start taking on scotches. I don't know when we'll get to Irish whiskeys because I don't like Irish whiskeys. Although I will eventually get to them. Because I believe in reviewing everything and handling everything with an open mind. So, now this has, I've been told, caramel in it, E150A, so you can't tell much by the color. It looks like a bourbon, but my understanding is it should not. It should look more like a scotch. It's fascinating to me. Now, maybe, I don't know what you guys think about this, but does it not fascinate you how scotch wants to look like bourbon? If I were going to, trash talk a Scot, not only would I say, you have to put your whiskey in bourbon to make it taste good, but I would also say, guys, you have to color your whiskey to make it look like bourbon. I mean, come on. Clearly, deep down inside, someone knows bourbon is awesome. But so is scotch. I mean, I would be remiss to say scotch is inferior. I think scotch is... I don't think scotch should cost as much as it does. But I think it's delicious. Slight peat in the nose. Maybe a taste. I find that you get a straw note a lot in scotches. Maybe a little honey here. On first sip. The peat is most pronounced. And that's what I mainly got. The taste is like the smell, peat and straw. Maybe a little something in there. Maybe caramel. Maybe not. Okay, this is a blended scotch, which differentiates it from your classic single malts. A single malt is obviously made from one malt. I don't know if it's made from one barrel or not. I don't think it is. I think it's again blended at the distillery, but it's made from a malt. A blend generally cuts the grains with it's a blend of grain whiskey and malts, and obviously Johnnie Walker is a blend. Possibly now it's hard to say. I guess the Red Label is their flagship because I guess it's the most popular. My understanding is the most popular scotch in the world. But I've never really heard or dealt with the Red Label. My experience is completely with I've had the gold, which is really good, but it overpriced. I had it at a bar once where it wasn't too bad, and I was like, well, let's try it. But my experience is more with the black, and with people who like the black. And the black is a delicious whiskey. Nothing wrong with blends. They're cheaper, and oftentimes they're delicious. Again, on the taste, very peaty. Very, peaty, almost with the taste of honey back there. Balanced beautifully. Don't cut JWB. It's exactly the way it should be. But it's a well-balanced whiskey. They do an amazing job here. I'm drinking this in tribute to Christopher Hitchens. This was his favorite whiskey. And he passed away this week. A great writer and a great thinker. Not always right, but always interesting. And he was quite the drinker, and this was evidently his favorite. We'll also review Lagavulin for Hitchens fairly soon. We'll be transitioning from our main bourbon to now, we can call it Chaos. We'll be reviewing whatever's in my refrigerator for a bit. Which I tend to keep a variety in my refrigerator. This is well recommended. Now, I mean, the question is, I think this is usually about $30. Is it worth that? I don't know. It's good. It's very good. Is it better than Buffalo Trace and Maker's Mark? I don't know. It's different. It's very different. More of a peaty note, more of a less sweet. Certainly good. Certainly good. I keep Johnnie Walker in my refrigerator just because sometimes I want that taste. I don't know if it's actually better than a lot of your top line bourbons, which it's priced. If you look at the price, it's priced at as what we would think of as a low grade Scotch or a premium bourbon. I don't know why Scotch costs so much. Maybe it's that it takes so long to age. You can see the age statement that everything in JWB is 12 years. I don't know if that's why. Is it just takes longer to age, or if it's the tax system in Europe, or whatever. But as I always say, Scotch is too damn high. It's delicious, but it's too damn high. And again, I think, here we have kind of, I guess you're, in some ways, the Jack Daniels of Scotch. It's $30. But it's very good. It's a great sipping whiskey. I've never had Scotch in a cocktail, so I don't know how it does there. I assume it does well. That would seem, at least, to be a very safe assumption based off things I know about this whiskey. I don't know what you'd mix it with, but again, a very nice peaty with a nice balanced honey. It's not, for instance, in comparison to Black Bottle, which we will review, which is a delightful whiskey. Black Bottle is a blended whiskey that kind of explodes at you with the peat. This, it has a peat with it, a kind of a nuance. Some other things going on there. Some straw. Various other things going on. With the color. I've heard that the E150A, the caramel coloring, adds a flavor. You certainly wouldn't notice it in JWB because JWB is very balanced. And you wouldn't think that there would be any pungency or anything adding any pungency to it. Anyway, mildly recommend because it's a little high, as all Scotch is. But this is a good Scotch to start. That's all the time I have. I'll see you next time.